All right, we're going to turn back to Iowa, where officials are still scrambling to report the final results from Monday night's caucus. The confusion and the chaos already has Democrats in Nevada ditching plans to use the same app for their nominating contests. The software was created by a company called Shadow. It apologized for the mess on Twitter, saying, quote, "The underlying data and collection process was sound and accurate, but our process to transmit results was not." So CNET senior producer Dan Patterson is here to help make sense of this epic fail. Can you walk us through a little bit about how this app worked or was supposed to work and what went wrong?
Well, we're learning more about how the app itself functioned, but the statement, at least according to sources I spoke with yesterday, appears to be mostly true. The results seem to be tabulated okay, and it was an issue with transmitting the data, which I think all of us, at least if you've been to a sporting event or a music concert, you can relate to your phone not working properly. The long and the short of it was that this app was not properly tested before it was deployed. We saw that with the epic fail in Iowa, and that left Nevada, Texas, and other states scrambling to replace this technology stack.
So what is Nevada going to do, because they were going to use this same app? What's their new plan?
Well, we don't know what their plan is, but we do know that they are scrambling to replace this app. Look, the big thing that every state and every political campaign should know about this is that technology, as we've experienced, can fail. It has bugs in it. We need a backup plan. There was one in Iowa, but you also need to make sure that your software is tested and that people know how to use it before you deploy it. The exact opposite happened in Iowa and also in Nevada.
Well, it's interesting that the company's name is Shadow, maybe aptly named, because we don't know exactly how this company was chosen and this app was chosen. So what are Democratic leaders saying about that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of opacity, at least in terms of on the record, in terms of the decision-making process that went into deploying this application. We know in the back end, at least when I talk to people who are Democratic experts in technology, they say, look, this was kind of cobbled together. It appears as though it was built by a small group of people who were fairly inexperienced with application development. And even when I spoke to an acronym, that's the investment company, the CEO yesterday, she said, hey, look, we're not a technology firm. We're a political consultancy. So that means that states like Iowa, Nevada, and others have entrusted our democracy to the beta testing of a fairly coded app, in their words.
So since the Facebook hearings and Cambridge Analytica, it seems that elected officials, may not really understand how tech works. So does this really underscore the lack of sophistication that these political officials have when it comes to technology?
Yeah, look, all of us, myself included, all of us can feel overwhelmed by technology. It advances so quickly. So it's fair that our elected representatives might not be up to date on the latest innovations. However, that does not excuse them from applying poor decision-making processes. Look, it doesn't take a genius, and you certainly don't have to be on the bleeding edge. This is not just my words. This is according to other Democratic strategists that I spoke to all day yesterday. You need to test applications. You need to test technology before you deploy it. That doesn't take knowledge of cutting-edge technology. It takes knowledge of process and systems and people, which is not technological.
And when something like this goes wrong, of course, you have conspiracy theorists who are saying it could have been a foreign entity that intruded. So how is that going to play into how we use apps in the future?
Laura, this is really important. Every time we talk to cybersecurity and election security experts, they say, look, the point is to undermine our faith and confidence in the democratic process. So when we see bots and trolls spreading conspiracies around something that was simple mismanagement, we can get an idea of what would happen if there was an actual hack. This was irresponsible because it allowed conspiracy theories to conspiracy theorists to amplify misinformation about what actually happened.
Do you think this is perhaps a clue to the fact that maybe we should get away from technology, go back to the old school way of tabulating results for these kinds of elections?
You know, I think that it's a mistake to simply blame technology. In fact, the technology really didn't fail here. The technology should never have been deployed, at least in terms of the experts I talk with. If you use a beta product in the field, you will experience problems. This really seemed to be a process issue and a people issue. There was not the proper training and there was not proper education about the backup systems to be used. We should continue to embrace technology. Our rivals are doing the same thing, but we need to do it responsibly.
Dan, thank you so much for your analysis.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.